Summer is here, and everything you need for adventure is waiting at ShockShop.us. Gear up with camping essentials, stylish bathing suits for fun in the sun, reliable generators for every outdoor trip, kayaks, dinghies, and water toys for non-stop excitement. From backyard fun to lakeside escapes, ShackShop.us has it all. Shop the summer sale now and save big at ShackShop.us.
Hayden Panettiere's painful family secret revealed: how Milo Ventimiglia told her about her father's arrest. Hollywood stories often look polished from the outside, but behind the cameras and red carpets, many celebrities carry deeply personal struggles hidden from public view. Actress Hayden Panettiere has now opened up about one of the most traumatic moments of her life in her memoir, This Is Me, A Reckoning, sharing painful details about the moment she learned her father had been arrested after an alleged domestic violence incident involving her mother. The emotional revelation has sparked widespread conversation online, especially because the news was reportedly delivered to her by actor Milo Ventimiglia, her former boyfriend and Heroes co-star. The story sheds new light on the complicated and emotional family environment Hayden says she endured while balancing fame, career pressure, and personal turmoil during the peak of her early Hollywood success. A moment Hayden says changed everything. According to Hayden's memoir, the shocking news came during her time filming the hit NBC drama Heroes. At the height of the show's popularity, Hayden was already dealing with the pressures of being one of television's biggest young stars. But behind the scenes, she says her personal life was unraveling in ways she never expected. Hayden recalls that Milo Ventimiglia approached her in her trailer with devastating information, telling her that her father, Hayden Panettiere, had allegedly been arrested after an incident involving her mother, Leslie Vogel. The actress describes the moment as surreal and terrifying. She writes that her body instantly reacted with panic, saying her heartbeat raced so violently that she thought she might physically collapse. Questions immediately flooded her mind. She wondered whether police had overreacted, whether there had been some misunderstanding, and how the situation had escalated so dramatically without her realizing it sooner. The revelation reportedly left her emotionally shattered. The pressure of fame during personal chaos. At the time, Hayden was one of the most recognizable young actresses in television. Heroes had become a cultural phenomenon, turning its cast into overnight stars. But while audiences saw success and glamour, Hayden says she was quietly navigating serious emotional stress at home. In her memoir, she explains that she had noticed tension between her parents shortly before the alleged incident. The family had attended a charity function together, and Hayden recalls observing her father's frustrated body language toward her mother during the event. Still, she reportedly convinced herself the tension wasn't something she needed to intervene in. Like many adult children of complicated family relationships, she says she attempted to distance herself emotionally from the conflict. That distance disappeared the moment Milo delivered the news. Hayden writes that despite sensing emotional strain between her parents, she never believed the situation would allegedly become physical. The possibility had simply never fully entered her mind. Milo Ventimiglia's role in the emotional moment. The revelation has also renewed public interest in Hayden's relationship with Milo Ventimiglia. The pair dated between 2007 and 2009 after meeting on the set of Heroes, becoming one of the most talked about celebrity couples of that era. While celebrity relationships often become tabloid headlines for glamorous reasons, Hayden's memoir presents a far more serious and human moment between the two actors. According to her account, Milo didn't approach the situation casually. Instead, she describes him as calm but deeply serious as he informed her of what happened. The memoir suggests Milo understood the gravity of the moment immediately and tried to help Hayden prepare for what came next. She says he even advised her to get ready to help bail her father out of jail. The actress recalls instantly switching into crisis mode. She reportedly began searching for her attorney's contact information and mentally preparing herself for the possibility of spending enormous amounts of money to handle the situation. The experience appears to have marked one of the defining emotional turning points of her young adult life. The arrest that shocked the family. The incident involving Hayden Panettiere became public years ago, but Hayden's memoir provides far more emotional detail about how the situation affected her privately. Reports at the time alleged that an argument between Hayden Panettiere and Leslie Vogel escalated into a physical confrontation. Authorities reportedly became involved, resulting in Hayden's arrest. Although legal situations involving celebrity families often become tabloid material quickly, Hayden's book shifts focus away from sensational headlines and toward the emotional fallout experienced inside the family itself. Rather than emphasizing gossip, her memoir reportedly explores confusion, fear, emotional conflict, and loyalty. Hayden describes feeling torn between protecting her parents, processing her own emotions, and maintaining a public image while continuing to work. The emotional complexity of the situation appears throughout her writing. A daughter caught between two parents. One of the strongest themes emerging from Hayden's memoir is the emotional burden placed on children when family conflict spirals out of control. Hayden reportedly struggled with conflicting feelings toward both of her parents. On one hand, she loved them deeply. On the other, she found herself pulled into situations far beyond what any young person should have to manage. The actress describes trying to maintain stability while internally panicking. She also reportedly felt pressure to fix problems that were impossible for her to control. Children of turbulent households often develop a heightened sense of responsibility, and Hayden's memoir suggests she experienced exactly that dynamic. Instead of simply reacting emotionally, she immediately focused on logistics: lawyers, bail money, legal consequences, and public fallout. That response alone reveals just how accustomed she may have become to manage crisis situations behind the scenes. Hollywood's hidden emotional cost. Hayden's revelations have reignited conversations about the emotional toll placed on child stars and young celebrities. From the outside, fame often appears glamorous, but many actors who achieve success early in life later reveal stories involving isolation, family instability, addiction, anxiety, or emotional exhaustion. Hayden herself has been open in recent years about multiple personal struggles, including postpartum depression, addiction battles, grief, and mental health challenges. Her memoir now appears to connect many of those struggles to a lifetime of unresolved trauma and emotional pressure. The actress became famous at an extremely young age, appearing in commercials before eventually landing major television and film roles. Growing up under constant public scrutiny while simultaneously managing complicated family dynamics likely created enormous emotional strain. Fans online have responded with sympathy, with many praising her willingness to discuss painful experiences publicly. Public reaction to Hayden's memoir. Since excerpts from the memoir began circulating, social media users have reacted strongly to Hayden's honesty. Many fans expressed heartbreak over the emotional weight she appears to have carried privately during the height of her fame. Others praised Milo Ventimiglia for allegedly handling the situation with maturity and compassion. The story has also sparked broader discussions about domestic conflict, trauma, and emotional survival within families. Some readers noted that Hayden's reactions, disbelief, panic, self-blame, and immediate crisis management, are common among people suddenly confronted with family violence allegations. Others highlighted how celebrity culture often ignores the humanity behind entertainment headlines. What once appeared in tabloids as a brief celebrity scandal now carries far deeper emotional context through Hayden's first perspective. Complicated relationship with her mother. Hayden's memoir reportedly goes beyond the arrest incident and dives deeply into her complicated relationship with her mother, Leslie Vogel. According to reports surrounding the book's release, Hayden describes years of emotional tension and difficult family dynamics. The actress appears determined to share her truth, even though doing so has reportedly created public disagreements within the family. Leslie Vogel has publicly disputed some of Hayden's claims, adding another emotional layer to the unfolding situation. Family memoirs often create painful public conflict because personal memories rarely align perfectly between relatives. What one person experiences as trauma, another may interpret differently. That tension appears central to the ongoing public discussion surrounding Hayden's book. Why celebrity memoirs continue to fascinate audiences. Celebrity memoirs remain hugely popular because they often reveal realities far different from public perception. Fans usually see polished interviews, award shows, social media photos, and scripted performances. Memoirs, however, often explore the fear, insecurity, heartbreak, and emotional damage hidden behind celebrity branding. Hayden's story resonates because it feels deeply human rather than glamorous. The image of a young actress sitting in a trailer while learning devastating family news contrasts sharply with the fantasy many people associate with Hollywood success. Readers are drawn not simply to scandal, but to vulnerability and honesty.
The psychological impact of family trauma? Mental health experts frequently note that exposure to intense family conflict can leave long-term emotional effects, especially during adolescence and early adulthood. Hayden's memoir appears to reflect many of those patterns: hypervigilance during family tension, emotional confusion regarding parental loyalty, anxiety during crisis situations, feelings of responsibility for fixing problems, difficulty separating personal identity from family dysfunction. Trauma often doesn't disappear simply because someone becomes successful professionally. In many cases, fame can intensify emotional pressure by eliminating privacy and adding constant scrutiny. Hayden's willingness to discuss these experiences publicly may help other people feel less alone in their own complicated family struggles. Hayden and Milo Ventimiglia's lasting connection. Even though Hayden and Milo ended their romantic relationship years ago, the memoir suggests he played an important emotional role during one of the hardest moments of her life. Their relationship attracted significant media attention at the time due to their age difference and high-profile status on Heroes, but Hayden's reflections now reveal a more serious side to their connection. Rather than focusing on celebrity gossip, the story highlights emotional support during crisis. Fans revisiting the couple's history online have pointed out how rare it is for former celebrity relationships to later be remembered through moments of compassion rather than scandal. The courage behind telling the story. Writing openly about family trauma is rarely easy, especially when relatives are still alive and capable of publicly responding. Hayden's decision to include these experiences in her memoir suggests she reached a point where silence no longer felt healthy or sustainable. Many people who experience family turmoil spend years protecting relatives publicly while privately struggling emotionally. Breaking that silence can feel terrifying, particularly for public figures whose every word becomes headline material. The release of This Is Me, A Reckoning appears to represent Hayden reclaiming ownership of her own narrative. Hollywood's ongoing conversation about trauma. In recent years, more celebrities have begun speaking openly about addiction, depression, abuse, family instability, and mental health challenges. That shift reflects broader cultural changes around vulnerability and emotional honesty. For decades, Hollywood often pressured stars to maintain perfect public images regardless of private suffering. Today, audiences increasingly value authenticity over perfection. Hayden's memoir enters that larger cultural conversation. Rather than presenting herself as flawless, she reportedly shares painful, messy, emotionally raw experiences that shaped her adulthood. Fans see a different side of Hayden. For many viewers, Hayden Panettiere will always be remembered as the energetic cheerleader Claire Bennett from Heroes or the ambitious Juliette Barnes from Nashville. But her memoir reveals a very different reality behind those performances. Instead of confidence and glamour, readers encounter fear, confusion, heartbreak, and survival. That contrast may explain why the story has generated such intense emotional reactions online. Audiences often forget that actors continue living real lives after cameras stop rolling. Family conflict and public scrutiny. One factor that makes celebrity family trauma uniquely difficult is the inability to process pain privately. Ordinary families can often handle legal disputes or emotional crises away from public view. Celebrities, however, face headlines, paparazzi coverage, online commentary, and constant speculation. Hayden reportedly experienced all of that while still very young. The emotional exhaustion of simultaneously managing private grief and public visibility likely intensified the situation dramatically. Why the story resonates beyond celebrity culture. Although Hayden's experience unfolded in Hollywood, the emotional themes feel universal. Many people understand witnessing parental conflict, trying to keep peace within a family, feeling caught between loved ones, receiving devastating news unexpectedly, carrying emotional burdens silently. That relatability may explain why readers connect so strongly with her story, despite the celebrity context. A memoir focused on reckoning and healing. The title, This Is Me, A Reckoning, itself suggests confrontation, reflection, and emotional accountability. Rather than avoiding painful memories, Hayden appears determined to examine them directly. Memoirs often become part confession, part therapy, and part personal reclamation. For celebrities especially, writing a book can allow them to tell stories in their own words instead of through tabloids or gossip sites. Hayden's revelations about her family appear to follow exactly that pattern. The lasting emotional weight of that trailer conversation. Among all the stories emerging from Hayden's memoir, the image that seems to resonate most strongly is the moment inside her Heroes trailer when Milo Ventimiglia informed her about her father's arrest. It represents a collision between public success and private devastation. One moment she was a successful television star working on a hit show. The next she was a terrified daughter confronting a family crisis she never imagined could happen. That emotional contrast captures the central theme of her memoir. Fame cannot shield people from pain.